allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Been a little rough start this morning.
Good morning and welcome. I'm pleased to be the chair of our TID board, and normally sitting to my right is Tracy Davies, our county administrator, who will not be with us this morning. Is the vice chair. Our secretary treasurer is Cy Keeley, deputy county auditor, and members at large, Pat Blaney and Tom Price. So thank all of you for being here. Thank those who are attending this morning, and to those who are tuned in the live stream. We had a little problem this morning. We've got that back on track, and that's why we're getting started a little bit late. Is there any public comment this morning? Anybody sign in for public comment? Hearing none, we'll move ahead to item 3 on our agenda, which is approval of the minutes from our December meeting.
So move. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4 are board member reports. Anybody have anything they'd like to share at this time? And I don't either, so we'll move ahead to our secretary treasurer's report. Sign.
The current cash balance is $2,717,483.77.
Thank you. And I would comment that after today, we have a new dress code for the Delaware County Transportation Improvement District. Maize and blue sign is no longer an acceptable color for this meeting. So.
I object.
Do we need a motion?
I object.
I move to accept. I'd like to let you know that my daughter will be a Buckeye next year.
Well, does that mean you're still gonna wear those colors? That doesn't count. You can't get off just by playing the daughter card.
As a sidelight, I'll add this. We had yesterday, I guess I could be in the comment period, our 20 and 30 year CEO of the Ohio Expos Commission. We had a send-off yesterday, and a quarter horse is kind of a big deal down at the Expo. And Virgil Strickler is the guy, and he was running the 8 cars, bringing people in. So he had a family on there, and Grandpa had an M hat on, and Virgil said to him, when did you go to Disneyland? And the guy said, that's a Mickey Mouse hat, isn't it? And the guy got all upset. Of course, everybody else was Ohio State fans on the cart, and he got off, and they left him.
Really?
He walked in. But I was going to say that when did he go to Disney, but I won't say that. So.
Item 6 is our staff report. Chief Deputy Engineer Rob Riley serves as our staff support for the board. Rob, could you share your report with us?
I certainly will. Good morning. I'll start with a quick update on our projects that we have underway currently, starting with the Silicon Heartland projects. You'll recall that in the last couple of meetings we've approved some project agreements. The project involving the Fancher Road intersection and the Center Village intersection at County Line Road, that design is underway. The consulting engineer, EMH&T, is doing the field work now, and they'll be developing the plans here over the rest of this year. We are on schedule as of now to go to construction late 2025 on those, and you'll recall that those projects are being funded by the state. We will pay for the expenses up front and then submit reimbursements as we go. So the third project, it's number 7 on your map at Route 37. That is being developed by ODOT District 6. My understanding is they are in a similar status right now with their consulting engineer, Trans Systems, working on that project. You may recall there's somewhat of a complicated arrangement with that one. We basically, I believe Mr. Keeley deposited the amount for them to get the consulting engineer underway. We'll very quickly turn around and submit a reimbursement request to ODOT. So all said, we'll receive up to $13 million for those 3 projects. I don't think the cost will come anywhere near that, but we'll look to for ways to make good use of that money, even if we can extend the projects a little bit out beyond the limits of the roundabout. So more to come on that. Next project, the 36, 37, 71 interchange, Phase A, that is going nicely now. We have worked with ODOT to get the right-of-way acquisition underway. They are doing that now. District 6 is handling that, and really just letting them do their thing with getting the appraisals and the offers made to the property owners that are affected. I've had some discussions with MS Consultants regarding the a scope and fee for phases B and C. I believe Joe's working on that, and so more to come on that again. But in discussions with ODOT, I think there is certainly interest in, from ODOT's standpoint, to see the TID take the lead on design for phase B and C, as we've already discussed here internally. So I do think that's worthwhile. I would hope to have a cost to share with you probably at our next meeting, which I'm going to recommend we not have the March meeting and skip to the April meeting. So again, more to come on that, but as of now, Phase A is on schedule and hope to go to construction third quarter of 2025. Next project, Bell Canyon Road. No significant updates since our last meeting in December. The work is paused over the winter. The road is open. If you've been that way, they've got the intermediate course done, so it's back open to traffic. The contractor will be back in the spring to finish up all the remaining work, including the final surface, and get the shared use path done. And you'll recall we are providing a $500,000 grant to Orange Township to assist with that project. Phase 2 will be the next. I don't have anything in here on the packet, but Phase 2 will be the next segment, and that section will start at Powell Road at the south, go north for less than half a mile. But the township did submit an OPWC funding application this cycle, waiting on confirmation that they'll receive those funds, and then I believe the township's intent is to sell that contract sometime this summer with construction, potentially starting in the fall, but more than likely most of that work will be done next year. And we had previously discussed, and I think approved, a $750,000 funding assistance for that phase. So Bell Canyon will be a really important route, particularly if someday, hopefully, we have an interchange at Big Walnut Road. That becomes a very important connection on the west side of the freeway. So, if there isn't any questions, I'll move on. Yes.
Any railroad issues on any of this?
Any on these projects?
Yes.
No.
What's the status of the Big Walnut? Anything going on there at all?
Yes, so we had been waiting for quite some time, better part of a year, actually, to get the traffic model from Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission so that we can do the number crunching and the detailed traffic analysis for the proposed interchange. We actually just received that model information a matter of a few weeks ago, and so Bridges & Nyepel is the consultant on that project. They're starting to dig into that and do the actual traffic analysis to see if, from a technical standpoint only, whether the interchange is actually feasible, viable, if there's a way to do it in such a way that it would pass or receive FHWA approval. Sort of a go, no-go type of analysis to see if it's worth extending, going into the more detailed design and more thorough environmental analysis. So we should have some results on that within the next 4 to 6 months, I would imagine. So may be able to share something with you this summer on that.
Thank you.
So I will move on to the ODOT TID grant program. We received a notification from ODOT Jobs and Commerce that they will be opening applications for the TID grant program starting March 1st through March 20th. You'll recall we've made good use of this program in the past. ODOT distributes $4.5 million statewide to the TIDs. Want to have a little bit of discussion with the board and get your thoughts and input. We have a handful of candidates. I've suggested 2 in particular that we should submit for this pot of funding. I will say, with the $13 million that ODOT provided for the Silicon Heartland, and then also some additional funding that ODOT's providing for the 3671 interchange, I think we've gotten a pretty good chunk of money here in Delaware County, but that's not to say we shouldn't still try for this. I think it's certainly worthwhile to pursue every funding avenue we have. So the 2 projects I wanted to suggest are the Cheshire Road widening from Pyatt Road to Old State Road. If you can picture that section, it goes past the Berlin Township Hall. It's currently 2 lanes. There have been several developments in the area. We would like to widen that to a 3-lane section. Everything, we have, I think, 1 more right-of-way parcel to acquire at the county engineer's office, but the timing of that would be good for this particular cycle for the funding applications. It's about a $2.5 million project. And I know one of the things ODOT looks at is job creation with this grant program. And while this project wouldn't directly support, I would say, permanent commercial jobs, it would support a great deal of temporary construction jobs, and I think that's one of the things ODOT does look at. So wanted to offer that as a suggestion. And then next one is Stites Road, very similar project. If you're familiar with Stites Road, there's kind of an ugly S-curve about halfway between Home Road and Hyatt's Road. This project will realign that S-curve and also widen that out, the rest of the road out to a full 2-lane section with shoulders, ditches, drainage, all that. So, and again with that, there's quite a bit of new home construction within a mile of that project. So I think we could make a good case that project will support all the new home construction. So I'll stop there. Mr. Chairman, I don't know if you want to entertain discussion now on that.
I'm open the floor to discussion about that. I would point out we're committed to moving ahead with both of these projects. So really it's a question of which one we think better fits the grant program and the application and the scoring for the grants.
So you're going to go for both of them or just one of them?
Well, realistically, we're only going to get one.
Yeah.
So,
Being somewhat familiar with that Stites Road and Home Road and Home Road extending over to 42, is there any chance that you could partner with Union County and get the Home Road section right through Rathbone and on over to 42?
Yeah, I do, Tom, I think that's certainly a project we're gonna look at in the future. Definitely with that extension that Union County is looking at, that section from basically Jerome Road to Rathbone will have to be upgraded in some fashion. In terms of this application cycle, I know ODOT, the scoring criteria gives more weight and more points assigned to projects that are ready to go quickly. And if you're using it for construction versus, say, planning and design, you get quite a bit more consideration. So, good comment. I'm not sure that that project would be a good fit right now, though.
I think, just to echo that, I think that has great potential to be a project, and there's ability now under the law for TIDs to join into regional, to create a regional TID just to do those kind of projects. So it wouldn't supplant what we do here individually, but the legislative mechanism is there for us to combine for the purposes of specific projects, and I think that'd be a great project.
Thank you.
To be clear, I mean, we do have some other projects that I would say involve maybe a little bit more commercial and/or industrial development directly. Unfortunately, I don't think any of those are quite ready on the timeline that this application cycle will score highly. Berlin Business Park, for example, there's quite a bit of infrastructure that has to happen for that development area, but as of now, we don't have a project that would be ready to go, this summer. So that's something I think we continue to look at maybe for next year.
Ideally, for a project like Berlin, we'd have a intended user identified with job numbers and economic impact information to share in the application. Right now, it's still speculative. So I think Rob and I had talked that Berlin Business Park will be a good project, but we really need the bird in the hand going into the application to say, we'll be making these improvements to leverage these jobs. Does anybody have any insights on one of these projects over the other, or? And Rob, we're really talking about competing for $200,000 to $250,000. So,
Yeah, I'm not as
Yes.
familiar with, the needs on Stites Road, although I'm familiar with that area since years ago our company did that subdivision right there.
Right.
But I see Cheshire Road, there's a tremendous amount of traffic on it, especially once the school systems up there get out about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Going across there is pretty rough. So, I think that one, both of these are, really good projects to get constructed.
Rob, could you, in conjunction with the Cheshire Road widening, can you talk just for a minute about the railroad overpass project we have planned there?
Certainly. So if you go just to the west of this location, where the Cheshire Road crosses the CSX and Norfolk Southern lines, the county engineer's office has a project to build a grade separation, a bridge over the railroad. That design is, I would say, about 80 or 90% complete. We would very much like to go to construction later this year. We've had some difficulty in getting cooperation with the railroads. We would actually need an at-grade crossing to service the Delco water tower. There's a water tower kind of right between the two railroads as the railroads kind of fork away from each other. So we're still working on that. I know there was some correspondence last week with the railroad in our office, but that, again, that's to Pat's point, that's a recognition of the fact that Cheshire Road will be a pretty important east-west corridor in the future, getting from Route 23 all the way over to Sunbury, really. And so it's a good alternative for, say, 36, if you're in the southern part of Delaware to get over towards Sunbury Road, or excuse me, the village, city of Sunbury. So, yes, the traffic on Cheshire Road is definitely higher than Stites Road. That may or may not factor into ODOT's calculation and scoring.
I think I would lean toward the Cheshire project. You know, I think we can make a case for this being part of a bigger plan. If we, though we're not applying for money for the railroad overpass, at least mentioning that and explaining that in the application, that in their scoring, they might view this as part of a piece of a puzzle that they can help make happen. So Stites is pretty much a standalone project. So I think either one of them are great projects, and we'll move ahead with both of them. I think we may be able to make a little bit stronger case for the Cheshire Road, but if anybody has any feelings different than that, I welcome that input.
I'm fine with Cheshire.
I'm sorry?
I'm fine with Cheshire Roadside.
Very good.
I don't believe we need a motion to do that. We'll just authorize the engineer's office to prepare the application if there's no objection.
It's fine.
Okay. Rob, is there anything else you have for us?
Just one final thing, going into the next item, we have a resolution for you today to make a cash transfer from the general fund to the capital fund. We do have some significant capital expenses this year with the 36, 37, 71 design contract, as well as the payments to Orange Township for the Bale Canyon project. And so this was in the budget. We just need to execute the cash transfer and authorize Mr. Keeley to make the transfer.
So Rob provided us with the budget, and the last item under appropriations or transfers out, you'll see that $2 million to the capital fund provided in the budget. So thanks for sharing that with us, Rob. I hear a motion.
So move.
A motion and a second?
Second.
Second. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Any objection to us canceling the March 13th meeting?
Nope.
No. Hearing none, we'll proceed that way, and if something comes up, we'll let you know as soon as possible. Any other business to come before the board this morning? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion,
Second.
second. Without objection, we are adjourned.